aerospace engineer and trimmer on Team INEOS Britannia, today trimming on the starboard side of boat A. Bledding, to begin with, were you expecting these medium to strong winds this morning?
Yeah, so our weather forecaster, Cappy, kind of called for a good drainage breeze this morning, especially at the airport. So yeah, we were kind of ready for kind of seeing anything between 10 and 17, and yeah, when we got out there it was kind of towards the upper end of that range. So yeah, it was nice breeze out there, so yeah, good morning.
Today, most of the day racing in between the two boats. One part of the day, the two boats with J3, then you switch for the LEQ12 J24. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, so we initially were both on the J3, and then kind of thought that the breeze may have been dropping a little bit, so thought it might be a good opportunity to have a look at the two, but unfortunately actually the breeze kicked in again and stayed up, so a bit out of range on that jib. But yeah, all good racing and kind of interesting kind of being out there and pushing hard on the two boats.
From the trimmer position, which differences on the feeling did you have when you are maneuvering on the pre-starts with one jib and the other?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I think we kind of knew fairly soon that we were kind of out of range on that jib, but just stuck at it for a bit to have a look how it went. Yeah, obviously that has its challenges, but yeah, all in all, it was good learning.
Then when talking about the performance, today a very strong performance of boat A, being ahead on the first cross after the start on most of the races. Do you feel more confident in these stronger wind conditions than in the lighter that we have seen earlier this week?
Yeah, I mean, we were going well today on boat A. I mean, let's say the breeze was up, but we kind of felt like we got it locked in nicely. We did some lineups before the racing as well, and seemed to be going quite well in those. So yeah, always had quite strong positions to windward off the start line, and kind of carried that through the racing as well.
Now, looking forward, next week is going to be a break from being on the water. When we return back to the water, possibly the following week, is the plan to continue to test different sails?
Yeah, so we've got a week off next week just for a bit of maintenance as well on these boats. We've worked them hard over the last 2 weeks, so there will be some tweaks, I'm sure, over the next couple of weeks. Next week, sorry, and then back out and just continuing this two boat testing program. As I say, lots of racing as you've seen, and yeah, always kind of trying to find the little tweaks and gains that we can make.
Andrew Campbell, you were trimming on actually both boats today. You did some swapping of the crews during the session. It's the end of a week where you've had 3 solid days, 2 light wind days at the beginning.
Yeah.
How would you summarise the week in terms of achievements against the objectives you set as a team?
I mean, it was a really, really big week for us. You know, to get on the water all 5 days is a win. You know, we ticked a lot of boxes in those first couple days getting these 2 boats back on the water. You know, we had that great stint with Patriot, and you know, getting these boats on the water as quickly in a turnaround like that as we did was a you know, testament to the shore crew in here. But you know, the first 2 days were kind of commissioning and making sure everything was working exactly as we expected, and then these last 3 days were a fantastic kind of way for us to stretch the boat's legs and see what they were running with.
The excellence of the conditions over the last 3 days, particularly today when we had super flat water, maybe 10-11 knots of breeze at the peak. Is there a chance for you to overachieve as a team in terms of what you're getting?
There's no overachieving here. We're scrambling for every minute we can get every day. So we feel really lucky to get summer-like conditions these last 3 days here, and we're making the most of them as best we can. But man, every minute we can get on the water is absolute gold here. So we forced a couple of days early on just to see if we get anything, and then to get really good sailing these last 3 days is a win.
We noticed the boats being weighed this morning when they were being craned in. You're obviously trying to equalise or understand the differences between the two boats. How evenly matched are they?
Yeah, well, the one design nature of the AC40, gives us a really good match pairing to go and compare, minor details with. Then, right? We can make small changes to the boats and see what the driving factors are, and the conditions when they're that steady like they were today, go another step beyond that to make things really nice and even from a baseline to then move forward with small gains from.
As a trimmer, you've been working with some new sail designs. We saw some custom sails on the boat mixed in with the one design sails.
Yeah.
Is there a period of acclimatization for you, just getting used to a new sail shape?
For sure. I mean, the sails all have their own little subtle differences, and they all have their own targets that you're trying to hit, and you're trying to explore different areas for different sails. Obviously, some sails are meant to do different things, and some sails are meant to do the same thing with different settings. So, we're trying to piece that all together. As trimmers, you're going out and trying to give good feedback to the designers. So, what information they give us, we take away, put on the water and say, yeah, this worked, this didn't. This is what we think we ought to change, and then it's back to the data side. We'll be real data heavy these next couple days, trying to sift through a lot of good information, hopefully from the last few.
There'll be a first set of sails for the new 75 that get built. How much of what you're doing on the water this week gets fed directly into that first set, or is it going to be fed back into?
You can imagine that we're a long ways down the progress, into those first sets of sails already, but every day that we get on the water informs the next iteration that we're going to run with, and the build processes and all that are part of what we're learning here too. How the sails shape up coming out of the build, and how some of the detailing works. So it's a big learning process for a lot of departments on a day like today.
For all the teams, is there anything different they can do in terms of the sail material or the construction compared with last time?
I'm not sure compared with last time. There's certainly some more kind of strict areas about what kind of control systems and whatnot that there are. So some of the structures will have to change in order to make those same kind of shape changes for less control, if that makes sense. But we're experimenting with some different areas that we have some confidence in, and the results that we're seeing on the water are good, and we're excited to move forward with some of that stuff.